the whole of Nottingham smells like absolute chicken shite at the moment, and it's so disgusting. I don't understand why these farms decide, you know what, hottest days of the year, it's a great day to spread some muck. Like, it feels like they literally wait until it's the hot days. It's so disgusting. I can't even have the windows open because the smell turns my stomach. Anyway, what has happened to Vinted? I really don't like the direction that Vinted is going in at the moment. So I would say, this is just an estimate, probably 60% of my wardrobe is from Vinted. I absolutely love Vinted, especially for plus size clothing. It, well, at least used to be really good. And I would say pretty much in 2024, 2025, I exclusively shopped there. But this year I've gone back to buying from high street stores because there's a couple of different things I've noticed. First of all, the algorithm is constantly changing. They are always messing with the app. And before, I would get really good recommendations. Like on the homepage, it would show me clothes and stuff I'm interested in and in the correct size. But now it just shows me a load of random stuff, most of the time not even in my size, and just a load of rubbish I'm not interested in. So unless I'm specifically browsing for a brand, so say, oh, I want to get something from Next, it's not showing me good stuff. Whereas before, I would just browse my homepage and find stuff to buy that way. But now I find I'm only using it if I know there's a specific piece of clothing I'm looking for from a specific brand. Otherwise, I've just not been inspired by the stuff it's been showing me. So that's one of the issues. The other one I'm seeing, and again, I guess this is not so much Vinted's fault, but it's more probably just a sign of the times, the cost of living. The prices are getting so expensive, so it's not really somewhere anymore that I would go to for a bargain, because there's people selling stuff in good or satisfactory condition and they've only knocked, like, say, £5 off of the original price. So if it was a dress that was 30, it's 25 now. And for me, that personally is pointless, because I'm like, well, if it's only £5 discount, I might as well just go and buy it new. Whereas before, like the past couple years I've been shopping there, I've been getting like gorgeous dresses, either not worn or hardly worn, from M&S that were like £3 to £4. Like, I got so lucky last year. I managed to get quite a few purchases like that of gorgeous, high quality M&S dresses. And to be honest, I would have been willing to pay more for them. But now I'm finding there's stuff on there. People are selling stuff with stains, with holes in, for almost full retail price. And there's specific brands that this is really bad for. I noticed Lucy and Yak. Anyone on there selling Lucy and Yak, I've literally seen one. It was an apron, and they were selling it, Lucy and Yak apron. They were selling it for £10. And I'm guessing they were a hairdresser because there were bleach stains on it. I was like, what on earth? Just because it's Lucy and Yak, it's not worth that. Like, I don't buy Lucy and Yak on there because what a lot of people will do is buy the stuff in the sale, the Lucy and Yak sale, but then put the item on for full price. Like, they take the absolute piss with Lucy and Yak items. And I also find Next, any Next items on there, people want full price for. And again, it's like, well, I can literally go and buy that on Next. Why am I going to buy it full price there? So I'm just finding that the prices are just rubbish. The prices are rubbish. They're very expensive. And even I usually list kind of books and puzzles on there, because then when I'm done reading a book or doing a puzzle, I just resell it. And I do it very cheap. I do like £2-3. And mind you, like one of them, it was a new book from Waterstones I bought. So that was what, £12.99. I read it. I literally put it on for £4, and I had people haggling with me for that, even though it was a brand new book. So I find on the seller side of things as well, again, probably because people have less money, things are not selling as much as they used to. I used to be able to consistently sell stuff on there. Stuff is not selling, and then also people are wanting everything for £1. Which, if it's a heavily used thing, I get, but for like brand new books, personally, if I was buying that, I would pay more than £1 for that. But I'm not really digging the prices. It's just not somewhere I've been able to find any good bargains recently, especially with board games. So I like to buy board games secondhand, again, to save money, because brand new they are so expensive. But people on there, selling board games really expensive. So again, I'm like, well, I might as well just buy them brand new from a retailer. So that's one of the issues. The other one is the sizing update, and I think this really did affect Vinted quite badly, and I've hated it, and I know a lot of people have complained about it. I think it was a few months ago now. They updated the sizes have always been really weird on Vinted. So before, I'm sized 18 to 20, so that was, I believe, extra extra large. Now that category 18 to 20 has been changed to extra large, and now, yeah, that's extra large now. Large is now 14 to 16. But the issue is they automatically updated the sizes on all listings. So people who have older listings haven't actually updated the sizes. So what's happening now, when I filter by extra large, which is now the size I'm under, 18 to 20, I'm getting a load of 14 to 16 sizes coming up, because obviously people haven't updated the listing since they did the update. That has been such a pain, especially when I see something, I'm like, oh my gosh, it looks so cute. I click on it, I'm like, great, it's size 16. So that was I feel, a really huge mistake on their behalf. And I even had to update a few of my own listings, because then they went to size 22 to 24, which they weren't, they were size 20. The sizing update messed up a lot of things for people, and it's still messing up. And then I don't understand the decisions that Vinted are making as a business, to be honest. They've just done another update where you can buy from and ship to Australia and America, which is crazy to me for a variety of reasons. And you can't filter it out. I really hope they make a filter in the future that you can exclude listings from there, because I was really confused when I was browsing. I was looking for gym leggings. I kept seeing Old Navy come up, and I was like, before I knew they actually did this scheme, and I was like, that's an American brand. Why is that coming up? Now I obviously know why it is. But me personally, I don't want to buy from Australia and America for a couple of reasons. And I don't want to ship there either. First of all, sizing is different. It's so different in America and Australia. So I feel like there's going to be a lot more confusion. And then how does it work if I get a package from there, it doesn't fit? Is it going to be harder to send back? So on and so forth. The sizing is way too different. I don't want to bother with having to buy and convert different sizes. Also, how long the shipping times would be. I don't want to buy from America or Australia, because I think they said was it 1 to 2 week shipping time? It's fine if you want to wait for that. I don't want to, especially, I don't think it's worth it if I'm buying a pair of £2 leggings to ship them all the way from Australia, especially from a climate change point of view. I don't really like that because of emissions and stuff. I don't want a £2 pair of leggings flown over here causing all this air pollution when I can buy leggings here in the UK. And equally, I just feel uneasy about if I sold a package and had to ship it there. I just wouldn't feel comfortable with that. I'd be really worried if it got lost in transit. I just think that's really messy. And it just doesn't make sense for me for a platform that is basically like a thrift store, because the stuff on there tends to be cheaper. That it just doesn't make sense to me to be shipping that long range for such cheap items. I really think I'm not really sure with the direction they're going in with that. And a lot of people, especially on the Vinted subreddit, are not happy with that as well. They're totally against it. So I do hope they bring a filter out where you can avoid buying from other countries, kind of like on Etsy. I don't really buy on Etsy anymore, but I remember there used to be a lot of American listings that would come up, but then they added a checkbox to show only UK sellers. So I do hope they implement something like that. Also, their extremely lazy use of AI. And this is just what irritates me the most, because so many companies are going in this direction to cut costs. But Vinted are really bad for it, using AI for their customer services. And it's really terrible because there's so many scams going around at the moment on Vinted. And because it's AI, which is stupid, making the decisions, most of the time it sides with the bloody scammers. And this is another reason why I've been selling less on Vinted now, because of these scams. Like, it literally got me scared to sell on there. So there's a lot of people saying that they didn't receive the package, or they get a picture on Google of random packaging and say, oh, the package was damaged. There's just loads of little schemes that go on. I sold one thing. It was a pair of jeans, and someone kind of tried to do a bit and say they were damaged to get money back. And I was like, okay, if that's the case, send them back then and you'll get a refund. They couldn't be asked to send it back, so then they left it. I called their bluff out on that one. But there's loads of little scams going around. Another one I saw, which was crazy, a new one, is someone buys a package and they either send a package that just has a photo of the item, or one that has a fake vial of like Monjaro, which I was like, what on earth? But apparently they do that. So when you send the picture to the AI, the customer service, they may ban your account because they think you were buying medication, even if you bought the t-shirt. Again, because the AI is stupid, it can't do the reasoning. You bought a t-shirt, they've sent you a fake GLP-1 vial, you send that picture as a dispute, then the AI is going to go, you're buying medication, which is prohibited, you're banned. I'm like, I cannot believe these people are sitting at home concocting these scams. I'm like, if you've got that much brain power, use it for something good. Why are you using so much time and thought and energy to commit crime? I think that's insane. I think it's quite sophisticated and insane. But I've seen way too many cases of the AI customer service siding with the scammers and the chancers. And again, it's putting off a lot of people selling on there. So I've seen quite a few people saying they're going to go sell on eBay instead, or just stop selling altogether. And I think that's totally valid. I just feel like they don't have as much kind of oomph as they used to have, and relevancy, and it's their own doing, to be honest, especially when you are going to, it seems like they equally disappoint the customers and sellers. So if you're pissing off both sides of your customer base, that is just a terrible business idea. I just really don't understand the direction they're going in, and I find I'm using it less. I find people I know are using it less. So I'll be interested to see whether they're going to course correct, or maybe they've just made enough money now that they don't care. But I hope it does actually. I hope Vinted kind of fixes itself up, because I really, really enjoy buying secondhand. I much prefer it to buying new. We'll have to see what direction they decide to go in. I was also thinking as well, oh my gosh, the fall off from ASOS has been massive. I would say back between 2016 to probably 2020, I was a huge ASOS girly, because they were one of the only kind of online fast fashion marketplaces that did plus sizes. They did actual plus sizes, not just up to a size 16. And I found they had quite trendy styles, because things are definitely getting better now. But historically, plus size clothes is like, do you remember Evans? I don't know if Evans is still around. It was so frumpy. It's like, oh, because you're fat, you don't deserve to be fashionable. ASOS, and what I really used to like is they would have the same clothes available in regular sizes in plus size, so it wasn't a completely different range, which again, don't understand when fashion companies do that. I want to be able to wear the same stuff that everybody else does. But I was a huge ASOS girly. Like, it was a problem. I was probably getting a package weekly from them, but they used to have really good sales. I would never really spend more than £20 at a time. I'd wait for the sales, and they used to like discount their stuff quite heavily. And I loved it. The fitting was good, the quality was good, the fashion was really fun. And then I just kind of naturally stopped buying there. One, because then the prices became ridiculous, because to me ASOS quality is not any more than Primark quality in my experience. The clothes aren't particularly long lasting, and then they were starting to put quite premium pricing on the clothing. I was like, no, clothing's definitely not worth that. And then I found the quality actually started to go down with some stuff. So t-shirts, I love an oversized t-shirt. Used to love getting my t-shirts on ASOS, and they were starting to get very thin and kind of more plasticky feeling, you know, that very polyester viscose feeling instead of more cotton, and I can't stand that. I hate sweaty material like that. I like I like polycotton or cotton. So the t-shirts were getting thinner and I was just like, no, it's not worth it. I can't actually remember the last time I ordered from there, but every now and then I would have a little browse and see, okay, what's come out. And then what happened was it just got really boring, and I think a lot of fashion companies for a while fell into this trap, but they were particularly bad. It went very beige, you know, the whole quiet luxury, elevated basics. It went very beige, very bland, and it was just like, you know, black leggings, beige top, beige dress, A line. It became very boring. Whereas before, I loved it because it used to have very quirky brands, you know, like Daisy Street, Collusion, very bright graphics, quite experimental stuff, very trendy. And then it just went so plain. And then again, the prices were high. So I was just like, this is not of interest to me at all anymore. So just completely stopped shopping there. And then I believe a while ago, I'm not sure if they went back on it, but I heard they were going to start charging for returns. And again, I'm just like, that is just a death knell for fashion companies, because shopping online, you are not going to be sure if it's going to fit. So I think it's very cheeky and rude to charge for returns. And me personally, I won't use any companies that do that, because once I bought a pair of welly boots, I think it was from charlies.co.uk, and they charged me £5 for the return. So I returned them and I was like, you know what, instead of an exchange, just refund me, and I'm never buying from there again because that is a bloody rip-off. And I've bought a couple of ASOS pieces, but on Vinted, only a couple. And again, they felt super plasticky. It's gone super downhill quality wise. It just felt like something I would probably be able to get from Shein. That sort of quality. So, and I just feel it doesn't have relevancy. I don't feel like, you know, the influencers are really wearing it or touting it anymore. The brand I notice at the moment the influencers are loving is Beyond Nine and Dameson Madder, which their stuff looks super cute, but way out of my price range. But I'm really sad about ASOS, you know, fall off, because I absolutely loved shopping there. I'm trying to think, do I even still have any? I think I've got one ASOS dress still in my wardrobe, and that's from many, many years ago. And I still get compliments when I wear it. And I just really miss the fun, quirky, experimental stuff they used to do. If they found a way to go back to that, that would be great. But I think brands wide, whether it's fashion, food, homeware, whatever, there's so much shitification going on that I don't think companies are going to choose to return to quality and lower prices, because they don't have to and they don't care. As long as they're making more money, they don't really care about the quality. Same with Boohoo. When I was a student, oh my goodness, Boohoo was a lifesaver. Because they had a really good plus size range, and dresses for like £2-3. I remember I could get 3 or 4 things in my basket for a tenner. I absolutely loved Boohoo. It's never been known for its quality. A lot of the stuff there I would wash once and then it would already have bubbles and stuff. But again, when you're a student, I guess it was the equivalent of what Shein is now. I don't order from Shein, but I know quite a few like young people tend to shop there because it is cheap. I loved Boohoo. And it was so trendy because remember all the Love Islanders, they used to get the contract for that. A couple of the minor celebrities used to get their collaborations. I loved Boohoo. And they had really cute styles. Again, naturally just stopped shopping there as the prices went up. And also, I guess as I got a bit older, I think the clothes do skew quite young. So it just wasn't really my style anymore. But recently I had a browser there because I was like, I'm wondering what's going on with Boohoo. And it looks really frumpy to me. I'm really confused. It looks really frumpy. The fashion is not trendy at all anymore. And again, like with bloody everything, the prices have gone so high. And I'm like, oh my goodness, Boohoo already was bad quality. I can't imagine they've improved it. And the prices, again, they're asking for absolute piss takes. So I was like, no, this is naff. Definitely not shopping there ever again. One brand I miss so much, and it makes me so sad that it shut down, is Monki, Monki. Oh my goodness, especially during 2020 period. I absolutely loved Monki because, again, they were one of the only brands that did plus sizes, but with really interesting clothes. So they used to be the kind of dopamine dressing. They would have super, and this was before this was trendy, the whole dopamine dressing. Really, really bright, bold prints, weird graphics, also weird cuts in their clothing. The clothing I feel was quite Scandinavian. It was the cuts that aren't usually quite common in the UK high street. And I absolutely loved Monki. Again, very reasonably priced because I was still a student when I was shopping there. And their flagship stores, there was one, it used to be in Westfield, the Hammersmith Westfield, was so cool. You'd go in and it was like you was in a disco. There's a disco ball, reflective mirrors everywhere. The shop itself was really fun, but I still have quite a few Monki pieces actually in my closet. The pieces actually were pretty good quality for fast fashion as well. They held up very well. And then slowly, it was really strange. They started kind of going into almost Y2K club wear. So it went from really cool, bold prints, nice flattering cuts to, like, the weird scraggly crop tops and the 3/4 length jeans. That really weird kind of, I'm not really into that Y2K trend, but I can only describe it as kind of Y2K hobo. They went really grungy. Again, beige. They bloody got beige washed as well. Wasn't bright and colourful anymore. And then everything was blimming cropped, which isn't going to work for someone like me with a belly. And just very kind of, maybe studenty. I think if I was a young student, 18-year-old, I would like it. But before, I felt they kind of catered to more 25 and up, but it went very, very young. So again, I was just like, okay, not going to shop there anymore. The next thing I hear, they actually like shut down. The company shut down, the store shut down, and now they are on, you can buy them on H&M, so like kind of on ASOS when brands sell on a marketplace. So you can buy their stuff on like a marketplace, but they don't have a standalone store anymore or online shop. But again, the stuff you can buy now is just very plain, overpriced, basic, beige wash stuff. Do not understand how they had such a large identity crisis, but they killed their own brand. They completely killed their own brand. And what for? If you were doing it for profit, it had the opposite effect because you're closed down now. Like, I'm so sad about Joanie Clothing. Joanie Clothing shut down recently. I think they went bankrupt. And I'm so sad about it because they were one of the only kind of retro vintagey retailers, but with a modern twist. So I really loved, they had a lot of kind of 60s and 70s silhouettes, and again, really bold colours and patterns, which is my preference. And yeah, then they just went bankrupt, and I'm so upset. And then now everybody who has Blimmin' Joanie on Vinted is listing it for ridiculous prices because they don't exist anymore. But I'm so sad how they fell off as well. Oh gosh, another one I think that shut down was A Regular Choice. Let me Google. I think I did hear about them. Oh, I've just Googled. So they did shut down in October 2025, but they've actually relaunched this year in February. So I'm really glad to hear that. And they said they've got a different business model, which I think is great. So it says they're going to be grounded in creativity, not fashion cycles, focus on smaller runs and reduce waste. That's good. Yeah, I thought, yeah, this is the trap, I guess, with fast fashion. A lot of these companies fall into is just constantly releasing new stuff to try and keep up with the market and trends. But I feel if you have interesting enough stuff and a good quality product, I don't feel like you do need to keep up with the cycles and trends. For example, say Lucy and Yak, I know now they are, I think before they used to be, well, tout themselves as more of an ethical brand, but I feel like they are slowly falling into the fast fashion umbrella. They sell like staples, so there's some of their dungarees that have been the same patterns forever, like say the leopard print ones, and they sell really well. I don't necessarily feel like every spring, summer, autumn, winter they need to put out new patterns. I think they've got enough stock and enough stuff that is nice that you don't need to constantly be pumping out new stuff. But that's what I would hope for. Yeah, some of these brands, say like Joanie, I would love if they were able to relaunch like Irregular Choices, but It's a very tough one. Everything is so tumultuous in the business world right now, and the future is very uncertain. So unfortunately, I don't think a lot of these brands are going to return to their former glory. But then I also wonder, well, how are they going to survive? Because if you're upping the prices and the quality and designs are getting more shite, then people are just not going to buy them. So what is the end goal? I find at the moment I'm trying not to buy new clothes, to be honest, because I don't need any more. And my rule is, like, if my wardrobe is full, if I buy something new, then it's like one in, one out. So if I do buy something new, I either have to sell something in my wardrobe or donate it to charity, so then I don't end up as a clothes hoarder. But I do love my fashion, but I am trying to buy less. But I do find if I do buy stuff these days, if it's not from Vinted, I tend to shop at Next. Next has really stepped their game up. Because I remember when I was like a teen, my mum would shop at Next. It was quite frumpy. I feel like they were targeted towards, very well dressed 50-year-old women. But now, oh my goodness, they have such cute stuff and such trendy stuff. I love the gingham stuff they release. So the gingham trousers, dresses, shorts. Their stuff is so cute, but also really high quality. Because I get t-shirts now from Next, and it's cotton. The cotton is so thick. It washes well. It doesn't shrink. I absolutely love Next, but I only shop there again in their sales because they're really pricey. Like, you can be paying £30 for a t-shirt, which I think is a little, even though it's cotton, I think that's a little bit crazy. So I just wait for the sales when I shop at Next. But Next is really good. Where else? Don't think there's many other places really that I feel is worth buying clothes from. M&S have good clothes, but again, I only buy those from Vinted because the price point is a bit too high for me, but they are very good quality and they tend to use cotton and linen, which I love. Lucy and Yak, again, I only buy there when they have a sale, and just recently, because they have a store here in Nottingham, so I tend to buy in store. They had a really good sale, so it was 50% off plus an extra 10%. So I got a gorgeous pair of gingham trousers from there. Lucy and Yak stuff holds up really well because I have some dungarees in my wardrobe that I got in like 2018 and they look brand new, even though I've worn them a lot. So I do feel that their stuff is really high quality. And they've just released a brand as well because Lucy and Yak is very bright. It's definitely for the dopamine dresser. But they've released a kind of offshoot L&Y, which is more kind of the muted tones and patterns. So I think that is super, super smart because then they're going to be cornering both parts of the market. And their sizing is so inclusive. I absolutely love the fact they go up to like size 30, which is really rare for fashion brands. And I find their stuff is really generously sized. So even though I'm a size XL, a lot of their stuff I wear large because it's oversized, and I love an oversized silhouette. Oh, how could I forget? TU at Sainsbury's. So yeah, the only place I shop now is Next, Vintage, but not so much this year. Lucy and Yak and TU. Oh my goodness, their stuff is so cute as well. They've stepped their game up as well. Really trendy, good plus sizing, and really high quality. I find the shoes are quite decent as well from TU as well. Because usually I would only buy shoes from an actual shoe store. I don't really buy from fashion stores, but because they tend to just fall apart. But I find the TU ones do actually last. And yeah, their clothes are super high quality. I love their PJs. Their PJs are so comfortable. And the prices are pretty decent. So I do buy stuff there full price, but then they do quite regular, I'd say every couple of months, have a 50% off sale. So I also do buy in the sale as well. But I absolutely love TU. Do not sleep on TU. And when I did shop on Vinted, I used to buy a lot of TU stuff on there as well because people used to put it on for a really good price, but now I'm finding people putting them quite higher price there. I find it really interesting following the fast fashion industry because obviously at my price range, I'm not buying designer clothes. Not really my thing anyway, but it's really interesting to just kind of see how it warps and changes and copes with the current economic situation. But I'm sad I do feel like the glory days, if you would, of fast fashion are over. But again, I think that's just happening in all industries. Everything seems to be just getting more crap, which is great. I would love to hear your thoughts on this episode. Where do you currently shop? Where did you used to love to shop? What are your opinions on the current fast fashion / high street scape? I would love to hear it all. Thank you so much for listening and have a great day.